there's just a lot of little things to cover, and some people who work at Burbank during the school year know some of it, but then don't know some other parts. And then the people that are new need to know all of it. So we have to kind of like make sure everybody's on the same page. So thank you for coming. So I'm going to just go through some basic things so people understand how ESY works. And it's a little different this year than it's been in other years due to the pandemic and trying to offer some extended services for children who have missed out on some school, right? So the daily schedule for everybody is 8:15 and the departure for everybody is 2. So that's different than how elementary or K-YAP is doing it. So I just want to make sure everybody's clear on that. It's 8:15 to 2. Everybody gets a 30-minute lunch, and our paraprofessional staff should have 2 15-minute breaks on top of that. If you can't come to work, you can text me. My phone number is right down there, or you can call the office and leave a message. And please remember to put in a sub via SmartFind. If you don't know how to do that, please see Karen before you leave today. And she will help you get hooked up with SmartFind. Oh, sorry. That went crazy. Okay, so we are super excited because we have 3 programs scheduled. We have 3 different programs on our site this year. So we have the younger student ESY, and they're having a typical ESY where it's only 2 hours. It's 8:30 to 10:30, and then we have like an hour for cleaning and lunch, and then an 11:30 to 1:30 session. So we've got some groups of younger student ESY, and then we have older student ESY, which is a single cohort 9 to 1 daily. And then we also have a general education program on our site called Bridge K, and that is going to be in C9. And they have also one cohort, but their program runs 8:30 to 12:30 daily. So they also get 4 hours, but it's just slightly off kilter from the other programs. There are schedules that you can link that are found here. They're also found in what we call here at Burbank our Uber doc, which is simplified from the regular school year, but basically it's an ESY Uber doc that has all the links that I'm sending to you. So if you forget where a link is, or you forget where something is, you can always go to your Uber doc and find it. Okay, safety review. I've done so many of these trainings over the past year. I might go too fast. If there's any questions, please let me know, but none of this should be crazy unfamiliar to anybody here, I hope. So please remember to complete your staff health assessment, ideally at home, before you come to work every day, and don't come to work if you are not healthy. We are still, even though things are going much, much better than they were before, we are still being cautious. So please remember that if you have some cold symptoms, you should be staying at home and you should be getting a COVID test and ideally being symptom-free before you come back to work. Please remember to bring and wear your PPE. We have face shields that are available here if you are interested in a face shield, but a mask is mandatory at all times. You need to sign in at the front door for contact tracing. So sometimes people forget about that, but that if somebody did get sick and we had to know who was on site, that is going to be the first place we go. So please remember to sign in at the front door. And then hand washing and the use of hand sanitizer is critical throughout the day and is much better than just a constant glove wearing, because when you wear gloves throughout the day, the germs just sit on your gloves and then you spread them out all over. Whereas if you're regularly washing your hands, then you're ridding yourselves of those germs. Obviously, gloves should be used for diaper changing and toileting and thrown away after you're finished. Okay, some other rules. Please, if you can, eat outside and separately, so there are not too many people in one place. Social distancing between adults is still expected at this time. Some people eat in their car because they want a little extra alone time, and that's fine. But please don't eat in the classroom around other people or around the kids. Windows should be open and air purifiers on at all times. Doors being open as well provides you with extra air circulation, which is important for your health and the health of the children. The thing to remember though is when you open a window, you need to close a window. So please remember to close a window, and Marvell and Angel, our custodians, will be so grateful for you remembering to close your windows at the end of the day. And please remember that we are still taking, as far as I know, nobody has told me different. Everybody still should be getting a COVID test every other week. We have that on site here at Burbank. So we're very lucky that way. And I showed some of our new staff where that is. So please remember to take a COVID test every other week. All right. And just so I'm sure people have seen this 9,000 times. But if you ever have a situation where you're like, I'm not sure what the safe thing to do here is, think about your layers of defense that are in place, right? So is there physical distancing? Are we washing our hands? Are we wearing a mask? Do we have proper ventilation, or are we outside? Those types of things, just think about what are the things that you're putting in place and trying to put as many layers in place as you can to keep everybody as safe as we can. All right. So one of the things with preschool that is a little different than I think our elementary and other folks is that our small people do not socially distance. They don't know how to do that. It's really hard to explain it to them without stressing them out a great deal. So what we do in place of that layer of defense is we put in our cohorting. So what that means is that our groups, so you have a group in your class, let's say C9. C9 is only going to interact with C9. Right? So they play together, they go to the bathroom together, they eat together, and so they're only exposing each other. They're not going to be playing with room 2 or room 4, right? Because then if somebody from C9 is sick, they would impact multiple classrooms. So that is why we have kind of the smaller playgrounds so we can spread out. That is why we have the bathroom schedules, so people only go to the bathroom with their cohorts. So that is what we are doing to provide that extra layer of safety. Again, hand washing, build it in, do it all the time, super important. And please remember, even though people are starting to feel like stuff is not the main way to transfer COVID, we do need to clean our toys. And if something is going in somebody's mouth, please put it away and then clean it later, right? Because that is one way to spread lots of germs, not just COVID-19. So please remember that toy cleaning is a part of our prep time that we've built into this ESY schedule for every day. All right, so we do have, as I mentioned, our recess and bathroom schedules. That's found here as a link, also on your ESY Uber doc. And the cohorting, that the reason why we have that, and it's kind of serious that you follow it, is because we're trying to keep the cohorts separate. If you've looked at that in the past week or so, please relook at it, because I had to do some tweaks. So make sure that you've looked at it recently. And I did want to let people know the C9 yard is going to be closed one of the weeks of ESY, because we're getting a new playhouse donated to us, which is great. But that means one of your yards will be won't be able to be accessed the third week of ESY. Are there any questions so far? All right. Okay, Miss Dayshell is our safety lead, and she's in Portable 6. I wrote her email down here. If you have a safety concern, safety question, Dayshell and myself are the people that you should be asking those to. She's also the person who orders our PPE. So let's say you need some more hand sanitizer, you need some more kid masks, those types of things. Please reach out to Dayshell and she can help you. We also have a little PPE closet in room A that is near Sylvia's office. So if people need something, they just realize that they don't have it in their classroom, please let us know and we'll help you access the PPE from the closet. Okay, so we're going to go into the daily routines unless anybody has any other questions. Great. Okay. Arrival. So the big picture is when people are arriving, they are going to arrive at their assigned entrance. I've already sent that to all of our families. So they by Parent Square and by email. And they will also be arriving by bus. We need to do a health screening for them every single day. And most of the people that will be on Parent Square, lots of our families already know how to use it. So it's pretty easy. But remember, the most important thing is, let's say Parent Square is not working or we're having a hard time with it. The most important thing to remember is we want to ask them the health questions. And if they're sick, we should send them home. That's the most important thing, not getting the data into Parent Square. We also will have paper at all the health screening things. You could do a paper screening of a student if you'd like. But the most important thing is every child is screened before they enter the building every day. And then, of course, the arrival, especially the first couple of days of ESY, can be really confusing to families that are moving from their other school sites to come here to Burbank. So remember that, try to be as positive as you can with families, try to be as warm as you can with families so they feel connected to our school and feel like it's a safe place to be dropping their children off. That's really important to us here at Burbank, and I'm sure to all of you. And if somebody goes to the wrong entrance or goes to the wrong place, please just direct them and show them how to do it as friendly as you can. Many people, if you just let them in like, oh, it's okay, you can come in this way this one time, people generally don't learn. So please remember, so let's say somebody at the triangle entrance needs to go to the square entrance, please just walk them down and say, this is where your entrance should be. All right, so I'm going to go through the arrival a little step by step now. This should be very familiar to Burbankians because it's not very much different than what we're doing in the school year. So we have 3 entrances, and these are also the child's exit, so it stays the same. The circle entrance is Miss Susan, Miss Queen, Miss Kim, Miss Michael, Miss Candace. So you are the front blue circle. So that's the front door. If you're the triangle entrance, that's Miss Danielle, Miss Ozzie, Miss Marcia. And the square entrance is Miss Noel, Miss Brenda, Miss Olivia, and Miss Dayshell. This, I think, the only people, Miss Susan will need a little support, Miss Candace will need a little support, and Miss Brenda. So if you see some people that are not understanding our system, those are the people that could use a little support. Everybody else should be like, this is what we've been doing the whole time. There's no changes. I have a little map in this PowerPoint in case people need it, but this is the circle entrance, this is the front of Burbank School, and this is the big walkway up to our school. So that's the circle entrance. The triangle entrance is in the back right here at the upper 65th. And the square entrance is at lower 65th, right near our playground and closest to the portables. Okay. Every class needs to participate in the entrance and exit because it's incredibly challenging to do all of our kids. We actually have more children than we did in the spring. For spring, we had about 120 students sign up, and now we're at about 150. So we're increasing the amount of kids that are coming. Each class needs somebody to support with the health screening or bringing the students to class from the entrance. Everybody needs to assign somebody to get kids from the bus. We do have more children riding the bus than we did in the spring, so that will be a larger job. And there's always going to be somebody who needs to stay in the classroom to monitor the students, right? So everybody has not only the support that they have today that showed up, but also support that is coming in the form of contracted paraprofessionals and LVNs, and those are all people that can support with this process. But basically figuring out who's going to do the health screening, who's going to bring the kids from the entrance, who's going to go to the bus, who needs to stay in the class, that's something that you guys should be figuring out today. Okay, is there any questions before we go on to the health screening portion? Okay, all right. Hopefully everybody has been using Parent Square this whole time. That's the hope. But if you haven't, this is what it looks like on one of our tablets. Every entrance will have a tablet that has Parent Square loaded on it. The most important thing is you want to check your group, which is you'll see that we have little groups. So there will be an ESY AM Square group. There will be an ESY PM Square group. And you need to make sure that you're health checking the correct group for the time that you're doing the health checks. You want to check the date because often Parent Square does not move the date forward when we think it should. So you want to check that date. You're going to press screen students down here. And when you don't see a student listed, it is probably because they've already done their health screening and Parent Square took them off of the list. And if things are not going right, use the paper. Use the paper, ask the questions. Most important thing is sick kids are not coming into the building. Is there any questions about Parent Square? All right, so I have identified some people that are going to be in charge that very first week of Parent Square, but that does not mean that people do not need to learn it. So if you don't know it, you don't use it very easily, please start to ask these people how to use it and how to screen students. So you can see I've assigned some people that I think should know how to use it from our spring. And those are the people that are going to be in charge of using it at their different entrances. So Circle is Nellie and Ariana. Circle PM is Miss Han and Miss Queen. Triangle AM and Triangle PM is Miss Monica and Miss Kaya. And Square AM and Square PM is Noelle and Deschelle. So these are the people that you can go to and ask. And if you have any questions, please let me know. All right. I also just want to remind our PM classes, which is Miss Queen, Miss Danielle, Miss Ozzy, Miss Deschelle, if you could bring me back the tablet at the end of the day, that would be amazing because then I can charge it and then we never run out of batteries. So if people can remember to do that, that would be fabulous. Okay, and if a child is not on Parent Square, there are two reasons for that. One is just it was a mistake and let Miss Karen know and she will add them. The next reason is that they might be a general education student. And if they are a general education student, there isn't anything we can do to get them on Parent Square at this time. So that means that they need to use a paper screener. All right, any questions about the health screening? Okay, great. All right, so we are going to have breakfast and a super snack this ESY. We still do not have a cafeteria worker, however. So I showed some people this process when I gave a tour today, but there is going to be a pickup in the cafeteria, which is exactly how we were doing it in the spring for people that are from Burbank. However, there are two types and we have to for some reason track what we are taking. So, so just first big picture, if you are running a 4-hour class, you get both a breakfast and a super snack for each child. If you are running a 2-hour class in the morning, you get a breakfast. And if you're running a 2-hour class in the afternoon, you get a super snack for each kid, right? So that's kind of how that runs. And then in the cafeteria, there's a little form and a little sign that asks you to fill out how many you took of the breakfast, how many you took of the super snack every day. And I have to fill out a form and send that into nutrition. So we are tracking the amounts we take. Please help me out with this. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, so eating is a higher risk activity because it is a way that people can spread germs and they also are maskless during the activity. So just something to think about when you're working with small people and you're eating is that some ideas are you can eat outside. That's absolutely an option. If you have a recess time that you want to use part of that for eating, that is great. You can eat in small groups in your classroom. So there's only a couple kids at the table and you can spread them out at a time. And as many of our classrooms are using plexiglass shield dividers, so kids can eat in their kind of individual area, and then they can have more people at the table. Adults should be always wearing their masks while children are eating and all the other rest of the times too, to keep yourself safe. Just think about what are some ways to kind of reduce the risk of eating in the classroom if you're eating inside. All right. Oh, is there any other questions about food? All right. Okay, departure. So again, the way your children came in is the way they go out. So that's not complicated in any way. I do want to say from the spring, we learned some tricks. So I was going to pass that on to everybody. At the circle entrance, kind of the best way of getting your kids to their families at the end of the day is waiting outside in the front playground. Do your best to spread out your children. So for example, if Miss Michael's students are out there and Miss Candace's students are out there, one might want to be on the grass and the other be on the concrete. So talk with your circle entrance cohorts and try to figure out how you could spread out and just keep some distance between the kids during the drop-off time. The triangle and square entrances, we've kind of found the shuttling technique works the best. So basically somebody goes outside, waits, sees who the family is and goes and gets the kid from the classroom. It seems to work the best at those two entrances. Buses also, because the first couple days can be very chaotic because we don't know what bus kids are getting on. And a lot of our kids, we don't even maybe know them by face. It works really well to designate somebody who starts to learn the buses and starts to learn which kids are going on what bus. Obviously other people should know in case that person is sick, but it is really important to kind of designate one single person who does know that and is doing it frequently. Oops. All right, and this is just my information, so people always have it, and Karen's information. You can text me at any time. I'm good with email. This is Karen's email, and this is the main office line. So you have this information in this PowerPoint and have access to it always. Please ask any questions that you have. And then there's just a few other things to go. So we have daily site jobs here since the pandemic, simply because we have a lot of setup when it comes to the health screening stations and the recess play yards that we didn't have before the pandemic. So everybody has one job. It is the same job that you have every single day, and it is it's one of the things that we'd like you to do during your prep time. This is just to help make sure that everybody has some toys out, when it's in the front area, or that we have the table we need for health screening out. And so I made a daily job list. I actually kept, for Burbankians, I kept most people's jobs the exact same. I might have done a few tweaks, so please check the daily job list, and everybody's got one, and we really greatly appreciate everybody pitching in. If you don't understand your daily job, please let me know, but it's pretty self-explanatory. All right, so everybody's got a Google timesheet that they use for ESY. We just got those last night, and I sent everybody via email the Google timesheet. It is basically, you are going to put 5.75 hours every day, unless you leave early someday or you're absent. Please remember that the Google timesheet is actually everybody's Google timesheet. So if I'm doing my line and I missed a day and I put 0, for example, then somebody accidentally comes and puts their 5.75 in my 0, I'm going to get paid for your work. Right. So I would highly recommend you just very carefully go across the line and do your own line as carefully as you possibly can. It is a shared document. It's not the best way of doing it. It's not how I would do it, but it's how we're doing it. So please be careful when you're filling out your timesheets, and fill them out regularly, because that is how you're going to get paid for ESY. Attendance on Aries is required during summer. Please do it every day before 4 p.m. And check your Aries class list for accuracy. If it is not correct, please email Karen and tell her who is missing or what is incorrect. This is a quick video on how to log in. It's actually 20 seconds, so you can watch it. We're going to watch it really quickly so you can see, but you can see that the school you're searching is Burbank ESY and the year is summer because it's a different database than what you're accessing during the regular school year. Thanks to Noelle for making us a quick demo. Yeah, so it's really, really easy. I would recommend doing it a test run today. So you make sure that you can log into your Aries account, that there isn't anything wrong with your Aries list, and then we can start to make some of those changes. Oh, I just played the thing again. All right. All right. Pretty simple to record attendance. If you are an in-person class and someone is absent, you press A. If you are a distance learning class and someone is absent, you put B. And then you click on all remaining students are present, and then you finish up. So that is, it's very, very easy. It's just something that you have to remember to do each day. If you forget to do your attendance, please email Karen and let her know the information, and she can go back and add that for you. All right. And at the end of ESY, there is one day, which is a paid paperwork day for teachers. So you do not have to report to the site on July 6th. You can work from home and complete your ESY progress reports. The template that you're going to use is clicked here and in our ESY Uber doc. And please upload it to SACE and attach it to that child's, attach it as an attachment for that child. And this should include a reference to attendance. Sometimes we have people who sign up for ESY and don't attend. So it's, or attend only a couple of times. So it's really important to put attendance as a part of your progress report. And then please send families a copy via email, or if that's not a good method for the family, let Karen know and we can mail a hard copy to the family. All right, and these are some of the documents that would be good for, I'm hoping everybody has by now. So everybody should have access to our ESY Uber doc. Everybody should have a Google class list sent to them by myself or by Karen. And everybody should have a list of the Burbank staff. We have a lot of contract staff that are coming on Monday. And what I know, what I've learned over the past couple of weeks is sometimes they change the staff that they told me they're going to send. They changed that at the last minute. So Monday is going to be a little chaotic. So so be prepared for Monday. But once Monday and Tuesday go past, generally ESY is a really fun, easygoing time. And I hope we all have a good time together. All right. Are there any questions?
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
I remember looking at the video, and the video said that we would get paid 3 times. So I think more than myself would like to know what days are those?
Oh, I can find that out for you, Ms. Dottie. I did not write that down anywhere. So the
you can take your time and give it to me. You know, I'm in no rush. I got paid the week before.
Yes. Okay. I will find the paydays and make sure that people have access to it.
Because that will make sure that in making sure we do the Google Doc correctly, everything has to be in before that pay time.
That is correct. Thank you, Ms. Dottie, for emphasizing that. When we do not finish our timesheets, that impacts our ability to be paid. Right. So that is really, really important. Thanks for emphasizing.
Do y'all pay back if somebody forget? Can they get paid for it if later?
It's a good question, and I can ask, but I don't know. I don't think it's a risk I would take, I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm not into doing any risk, but I am into trying to ask the right questions so that everybody's listening would know.
Yes, yes. Ms. Han, what is your question about Wednesday? I can't hear you, Ms. Han. You're gonna have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, on Wednesday, you keep on go to work or just work online?
No. Everywhere for ESY in person, it's 5 days a week.
Okay.
Thanks for asking that question because that is a change. And for our distance staff, which is Linda and Farah, they are also working 5 days a week. All right. Are there any other questions? Please remember that no question is too big or too small. We can we can solve it together.
I have a question.
Sure. Go ahead, Kenny.
How do I get access to Aries?
You should have an Aries account, Candace. And so, oh my gosh, is it Aries.OUSD? Help me out, Noel.
I usually start from the OUSD homepage.
Okay, so the intranet you use?
And then Aries is one of the links there.
Okay. Yes. So, Candace, so we made you and anybody who's new to Burbank, we made you an Aries account, for the summer. Oh, Kim and Michael, it's under Kim's account. I had to pick somebody's account. You guys are gonna have to share that account. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to put you both on the same account. And Candace, so I can, oh, look at Marcia says also aries.ousd.org in there. So that's how you log in, and then you log in using your OUSD email, follow the little video that Noel made, and it should be all set for you. Okay, if it isn't, please reach out because sometimes things happen. All right. The other thing is I just sent to people in their email boxes the list of bus routes. My apologies that it lists all the children in Oakland that are going on a bus, but Burbank is on the 2nd and 3rd page. We got more kids routed than we did for spring, so thumbs up on that. So, so we should have a few more buses than we did in the spring. All right. Any other questions?
I have another question.
Sure.
My question is, I looked at the video that I'm referring back to the video, right?
Yes.
And I'm thinking, I want to make sure that I understood this correctly. If the child that's coming to in person and they don't show up the week, like next week, they don't show up at all next week. The following week, do they still have a chance to come in or
Yes.
they can't?
So that's a really good question, and it's about cohorting, right? So really the only reason why we wouldn't allow them in is that we would have concerns about them bringing in a virus to the environment. I have not been told that we need to be that worried about that at this time, but I think it's a great question for me to just double check with our wonderful Dayshell and our safety leads to figure that out. I think Dayshell had to drop off, but I will double check. Because as we know that sometimes people go on vacation, or sometimes the bus takes a minute to be routed. So there's things that happen. So we'll check to see if a late entrance is okay.
As far as I'm concerned, or I know Teresa, I think it's still after that 3-week period. And then if they're traveling, they would have to quarantine or provide a negative COVID test in order to return. But I will double check and see if that is continuing for ESY or if there's something different.
Okay, I'm gonna reach out to Salja just to make sure. Okay, and then I will send that information and the pay date information to everybody here. Okay,
Teresa, I'm sorry, I have a question.
of course.
There's an email that was just sent from Jen Blake, and it says something about teachers depart work at 12:45. That doesn't apply to us,
No,
correct?
no, that is how
Okay.
KYAP is doing it. KYAP is doing something different than we are doing.
That's what I figured.
I
Okay,
am
thank you.
sorry that, because she keeps saying that and it keeps confusing people. So please just, pre-K is just different.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right. Okay. So, all right. So Monday is really important for people to be on time on Monday because Monday can be a little crazy. But we are all together. We are all helping each other out and it always works out okay. Right. So please let me know if you have any questions or concerns or thoughts. And I am here. Karen is here. Sylvia's here. Allison will be helping on Monday. And so we'll make sure everybody gets to where they're going and has a good day. All right. Thanks, everybody. And let me know if you need anything. Bye.